everybody, welcome to Auman Landscape YouTube channel. We're gonna run through to a job site tour here real quick. And first, a few things I want to touch on here as we're talking is site access. So this job, while it's out in the country, we've got a lot of room, and at the same time we don't have a lot of room. It's kind of a weird thing. Number one is I look out over this yard and I see we've brought in 80 tons of limestone. We've brought in, I don't know, 15 or 20 tons of hardscape products, all via skid steer and by off-road Moffett, from the delivery guys. And that is as much as the yard is disturbed. And back in the day when we had wheeled skid steer loader, this would have been 18-inch deep rutted yard, destroy the freaking yard. But instead, we've been making the effort to purchase tracked skid steer loaders and tracked machinery. That is going to save us so much cost and remediation work fixing the yard when we leave, and that's got to be priced into the job. You got to remember these things. Somebody's got to pay for that, and I know the guys aren't going to work for free to fix it, and I'm not going to work for free to fix it. So that's got to get priced into your project, and you either got to talk with your client of like, hey, the yard's going to look like this or worse, generally worse. That's a line item price in here to fix the yard, right? As part of the project. So you got to make sure you're recovering your costs of that kind of stuff in your projects. So going through, we're fortunate to have a whole lot of room here to have staging of materials. So we've got equipment here. We've got our portable restroom, which I'm a huge advocate of. I'm a big fan of having portable restrooms on site because the nearest, actually there's a little diner about a half mile down the road, but still we don't want guys getting in trucks, burning up $4 gasoline now, or $3.50 gasoline or diesel, running out tires, and just taking time in general. We want to just use the bathroom, it's fine, whatever, and get back to work. And that's a great thing. We're being more productive on site. Most of the guys are meeting on site here as well, so they still get their full hour day in. Had to get a whole new track, $500 gone. That was a bummer. The machine detracked almost twice in one day. Couldn't figure out like the second time, like, man, what's going on? We realized the track was ripped. I digress. So anyways, bathrooms, super important to have on site. We've been camped out here for like 5 weeks now or 6. That's a really big deal to make sure that you've got facilities on site. Generally our rule is kind of just making sure if we're going to be on site more than 2 or 3 days, I want to make sure we have a bathroom on site. And even sometimes even on 2 days, depending on the quantity of people too. If it's a 1-day job and we're going to have 5 guys there, we're going to have a bathroom on site because we don't want people leaving to have to run to the bathroom, and just that general inconvenience. It's rough. So fortunately we got a lot of room to stage material. Again, track machines you can see doing really pretty minimal damage to the ground. It's really awesome. It's just incredible the difference in track machines versus tired and wheeled machines. It's totally worth the investment. If you're gonna be in landscape construction, it's a must. The fuel tank of fame, as you see on Instagram, all these folks have sent stickers. You can send stickers to P.O. Box 203, Carroll, Ohio 43112, and we'll put your sticker on our job site fuel cell here. There's a Hardscape trailer here, which is faster to load up than loading up a truck at the end of each day. Most of the stuff is thrown in here, pulled out as needed, and then it saves guys from having to just constantly unpack a truck. And this is kind of just a mobile job site trailer, just stays here. Generally gets fully locked up, and the machine's blocking all the doors and stuff on more sketchy sites or whatever. This is a Lattice diamond blade. We have promo code Auman for 20% off your diamond blades. Tuck pointing blades, full size, whatever. I think this is like the mini Hurricane. These are really handy, but this is a battery. That thing's just handy for all sorts of any kind of grinding and other God's work you got to do with it. Yeah, the job site trailer, super handy. It's a bit of a mess right now. Once we pull off this job for the year, because it's our last big project of the year, this thing's going to get gutted and reorganized. This is just a scrap bin here. I want to get a handful more of these. These are pretty handy. But here we are just using it to store all our scrap stuff. Ideally, instead of throwing it in piles and then double handling again, ideally these things should be like right next to your cut areas, your split areas, and all your debris going straight tossed in there instead of getting tossed on the ground and then getting double handled again. So these things should be getting just all your junk straight to it all the time. This we're going to set in the back of the dump trailer because it's got 9s in it, and Mr. Bo's going to take us home or to my place or something and just back us up, dump it right out the back, and then they'll bring it back Monday here and reuse it. But just super handy for all this kind of stuff. So we'll load this thing up here real quick. thing here. Got a lot of questions about this as far as like, why did we do this set of stairs this way? It's a good catch by Bo when we started building because it wasn't on the plans. Was, you know, why did we do this vertical here, but yet this with the setback? You really could go either way with this, but ultimately what it came down to is with this amount of setback, it would mess with how much these stair treads overhung each step. So if this stayed at the kick out as it came along, we potentially would be where there was almost the block stuck out farther down here, but then was at a negative, or you know, an imbalance, you know, here. So Bo made the good call to go vertical on this structure, and the same with the inside cheek wall there, and that gives us just nice uniform tread overhang the whole way, and worked out real well. This is all still completely full of this clean number 57 limestone. We got conduit running through this thing all over the place for future runs of electric. We've got downspout clean outline here that this ties into those downspouts there, which those ugly green things can be painted. So that's something I would recommend to the client. But this is a clean out, just it transitions to the existing corrugated pipe from here out to the creek. So we wanted to make sure we had a way to get in here and clean this out, and finished grade is going to end up here again. So this will all be buried, and this will be a great thing to chop off with the mower when they're mowing the yards. So in this wall, anything over 4 feet really ideally ought to have geogrid in it, and even walls that are shorter, if they're subject to additional loads like holding up a house or a surcharge slope, hill above the wall, whatever, or even vehicles on a smaller wall, because that's a live load. There's live and static load. So this stuff sitting here is considered static load. Live load is people on it, moving vehicles, things like that. And so what you need to do is consult an engineer if you're looking at a wall that's going to be doing any of those items, and consult with them about how much geogrid and how often, the frequency, all that stuff, how you should use it. There are recommendation charts available on all the big manufacturers, Teco, Unilock, County, Versalock, all those guys. They have recommendation charts that you can go on there and fill out what type of soils you're using, how much backfill, what kind of backfill, the elevation, live load, etc. It's just that they just treat it as a recommendation. It's not an actual engineer's approval, let's say. But in this job, we've got, since we have all granular backfill, which is about probably 40 tons back behind this wall of this number 57 clean, it's angular, so it locks and holds as opposed to round. We don't ever use that. But this has got 2 layers of geogrid in it all the way through about here and here, or something in that of that nature. Probably what there, and I think there. And it goes back, I think a total of 4 feet, but part of that is included in when you see recommendations on length of geogrid. And by the way, you can learn more about this and fully in depth at thehardscapeacademy.com, www.thehardscapeacademy.com. We have online training courses there, 2.5 hour long wall course talking about how to build these structures, how to build walls. So check that out there. But with that being said, when it talks about the length of geogrid to be used, it does include what is woven through the wall. So this geogrid, this is a uniaxial geogrid, and it's woven between this block. We just lay it, you know, it'd be like, actually we can just use this as an example, but this geogrid would be laid out like this, and uniaxial has strength in one direction, why it's called uniaxial strength. These are just keepers to keep it length, or to keep it equidistant side to side. But the strength in this stuff is this way. So this strand here, where's that? That's what gives you that strength and time. It's like, imagine if a rope was buried in there and you're trying to pull that rope. Well, it pulls all this together. The structure is way overbuilt. You could put a bus on top of this thing, it's going to sit fine. But this geogrid is 4 foot long, but that includes what it's sitting, or what is embedded, or where it's laying in the wall. So that's 1 foot, the block is 1 foot thick, so there's actually 3 foot of geogrid back behind here. But this stuff strengthens projects like you can't imagine. But again, you have to consult with an engineer or a design specialist for these kind of things, because your soils make a difference. What is up here makes a difference. There's a lot of things that go into this. So you want to be really careful when you're getting into taller walls or load-bearing walls. It can really get complicated, so just be careful there for sure. We'd also definitely have lots of embedment. We want always a course of block buried. This is going to have about 1.5 course, which is great. It's it's into what this is called the toe of the wall, so this area here. And what that is, this, just imagine like my foot being buried here. My foot's not going to slide side to side, but up here, my foot could slide side to side, right? But when you get that embedded in there, that just strengthens the wall up that much more. So then we've got it capped off with a nice, this is a nice Indiana limestone split face coping, just a super nice look, and really like using this stuff. and it's easy to work with. Mr. Bo did a nice job facing the edge of these treads. Looks pretty good, so that works out real well. We've got this area up here is going to be pavers. The pavers are going to slope towards the back, which you'll see another video on that talking about hardscape drainage coming up. But we're going to have all these pavers slope towards the back there. So up here, just more patio space. Down where I'm standing is going to be a little bit of pool deck, and then there's going to be a pool next fall installed here, so that's going to be really cool. Homeowner built a pond there that we're going to finalize around. You can see our walkways here laid out real nice, walking up through. No cuts on the walkway for the most part, so that's a good idea. We ran our banding there on the sides in a sailor pattern, so the patio or the walkway feels really wide. If we'd have turned those in soldier course, you're going to shrink the implied walking space of that walkway, and we want it to feel big and open, so that's what we're doing there. We've got steps coming down here to a landing pad, and that's going to be added onto next year for the rest of the pool deck construction and the rest of the area around the pool, and then further landscaping, all that stuff. So really cool project. We'll keep bringing you videos and showing you all this stuff, and comment, or if you have questions on hardscape stuff, definitely reach out to us at Auman Landscape LLC on Instagram, here on the channel, and of course the hardscapeacademy.com. So thanks, folks.
You just need someone with a little bit of time, or like looking to make an extra $200 a month or whatever, and you can do all these little customer service things.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Maybe like all week or all month long, you just keep a running list of things that they can do at the end of the month. So like we finished the Herfenherbler project. We finished the...
I got her using my names now. Perfect.
We finished the John project. Can you please send them thank you notes and make sure they get a coffee mug or whatever?
Right.
And just this ongoing list. So it's not even something they have to report to the office all the time for.
Yep. I like that.
But that is how you make your company different from the million other guys out there.
Exactly. Yeah, you provide that value add of personable service.
And Auman doesn't do it anymore. So.
No, well, we're too big and awesome, you know. But no, that's fantastic. And by the way,
that was
even
pre-kids, by the way.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And grinding a company out from zero again too. So those are the things you do, and then